Moderate snow through Pennsylvania and all across southern New England. We are looking at snow, in fact, moderate snow at Providence over to New Bedford, Massachusetts, and it's looking like some of that cold air is making some inroads. Here's our latest with our severe weather watches. And to New York City, it is rain and snow at Islip. At Farmingdale, we have that rain-snow mix, almost snow now. LaGuardia snow, JFK, rain and snow. So some of the cold air making its way into New York City. We will have to follow that forecast very closely. Our snowfall play with this weather situation, with cold air just filtering in and just ousting the warm air all the way down to the coast on Long Island and into New York City. Still some rain mixed on the south shore of Long Island and around Block Island, but as Rich was telling you, Providence and LaGuardia Airport coming in with fairly heavy snowfall right now. So that cold air is really making its presence felt, but there's going to be a lot of warm air fighting back tonight, which could even give you some sleet and freezing rain pretty close to the coastline. Well, further to the south, you can see where the source of all this moisture and warmth and tropical air is. Florida, 70s and 80s, and Georgia and Alabama, and that's washing up and over that cold air mass. But cold air and establishment over the Rockies, too, after 2 or 3 feet of snow in some of the locations, ski locations in Colorado, and close to that in parts of New Mexico, too. Wyoming getting a lot of snow lately, Idaho, Montana, Utah, and some mild weather west of the Cascades. So as always, the cold air never just penetrates that far. Not as always, but as usual. Well, look at you can just about see the snow history here, from snow on the ground in Minnesota and the Dakotas. That's the white that doesn't move. The clouds are the moving white areas. But our big surge of snow and upper level energy pinwheeling around through Texas, knocking some of that snow back toward Tulsa and Wichita, where you had a little freezing precipitation mixed in. Some mild air and some sunshine coming up from the Gulf, then the jet stream cutting over that, giving you the severe weather threat from just south of Atlanta on into Florida, and that snow coming down through much of the Ohio Valley. So there's your picture in a nutshell, a snapshot. A shield of snow showing up very well on your national radar, all the way back to Kansas, but kind of curved where we're getting the most intense precipitation into upstate New York and southern New England, and that snow spreading from Montana into Wyoming now, coming up very, very busy with those thunderstorms marching on eastward. Let's take a look at the current weather map, and you'll see where the players are located. Low pressure, really not going north that fast, but pressures are falling rapidly all the way to Virginia and North Carolina. So this low will either move in that direction or hop the mountains and then move up probably south of New York, maybe even south of Atlantic City, which gives the cold air more of a chance to stay in southern New England back to New York City. So this is going to be nip and tuck, especially on Long Island as far as rain, snow goes. Eastern Long Island may stay predominantly rain, but back toward the city, even the northern parts of the city, several inches of snow, maybe 6 or more in northern suburbs, a foot within 50 miles of the coast. Most likely it's going to be one of those storms. Back to the Rockies, the snow comes down, so we have the jet stream going up. Some very heavy snow amounts across northwest, north central Arkansas. Upwards of a foot of snow has fallen, and the heavy snow around St. Louis, it is tapered off now. Light snow is falling, 6 inches on the ground at St. Louis. It is still snowing pretty good around Indianapolis, all the way up to around Grissom Air Force Base near Kokomo, and the snow continues across northern Ohio. Some of the snow totals from Pennsylvania coming in over to State College about an hour ago, 3.5 inches. Also at Altoona, about 3 inches of snow, so we're starting to get above the category of this 1 to 3 that we're showing you. Here's our satellite photograph. The storm somewhat disorganized. The low pressure area tracking across the Tennessee Valley to the north, clouds of snow to the south. The warm sector southeast of the low, that is where the showers and thunderstorms are forming in moist tropical air today. Well, you can see the gray and the white. That indicates the snow that is falling across Illinois and Missouri all the way to southern New England. Many areas now under winter storm warnings due to the possibility of a 6 to 12 inch snowfall. Snow falling around St. Louis. You can see some of the darker shading in green in your vicinity through central Illinois. Some heavy snows, especially south of Springfield and continuing to near Indianapolis. Now just a mixture of some frozen precipitation near Cincinnati, and it's trying to mix along the Ohio River. Everything south of the Ohio River is rain. Taking you to New York City, we have mostly snow across Long Island and New York City. In Philadelphia, it's raining, but north of town, we do have some snow. Snowing at Harrisburg, you may see a 6 to 10 inch snowfall from this one as some of the colder air seems to be locked in. Across southern New England, many areas are under winter storm warnings. Around Boston, you may see a solid 6 to 12 inch snow. And here's our forecast. This
going on from St. Louis to Boston, and the showers and thunderstorms still invading the deep south. In fact, that threat for severe weather with tornado watches out for Georgia, portions of Florida. We show you a Florida radar just to give you an update on what's going on there. We can see on that radar how the thunderstorms continue to build up along the eastern seaboard of Florida right now, especially around Flagler Beach, working all the way down to around Vero Beach. That may contain some damaging. Well, you can see it taper to flurries in St. Louis, but still come down with light snow around Columbus and Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Altoona. It looks like Allentown and Williamsport, and moving up to Bradford, look for some more snow. The Big Apple, yeah, we think you'll find an inch or so by dawn tomorrow. How about Boston? We're sending a crew up there thinking that that's going to be quite a scene, especially by tomorrow morning. So as you make necessary preparations to start your day tomorrow morning, tune into the Weather Channel bright and early. Pre-dawn hours, we'll be ready with a live crew there to update you from Boston. Looks like they may see 6 inches by dawn tomorrow. Total accumulation by tomorrow night over a foot. So quite a storm cranking up. Then we'll add in the wind that blows, drifting the snow about. And also another system coming in right behind this one, producing some snow for the northern Rockies and Plains. They've seen quite a bit of this so far this winter. Flurries tomorrow afternoon, perhaps as far south as Atlanta, Chad and Burlington, 3 below in Caribou, and that's in the shade. Ooh, is it cold. We're talking about 20s and 30s laced across the plains. With those winds blowing, though, 15 is what it feels like in the Big D. Usually you think of a warm location. 8 in Kansas City, 6 below in Chicago. Feels like 13 below in Buffalo. Woo! 2 days old in a new year, and we're already talking about another major winter storm. And I tell you what, you're going to be digging out of this one for a couple of days as it's going to make its impact. Right now, the low is sitting just about 2 below Mississippi. Let's give you the scenario what will be happening south and east of that low. A lot of warm, moist air feeding up from the Gulf. We also have this warm front continuing to arch on northward. South of this warm front, we're having temperatures in the 70s and 80s this afternoon. Cold front bringing in much cooler, drier air. Well, all this is squeezing together in the southeast corridor of the United States. That's why the potential of severe weather does snow. Right now it's falling from Wichita, Kansas to St. Louis, Indianapolis to Columbus, Pittsburgh to Poughkeepsie, all the way to Hartford. That band of snow will continue as the low tracks on off towards the northeast. That will carry the snow pretty much where it's falling right now in the same general location. So more to come. It looks like it could be really adding up. Here's what Boston, mixture around Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, more snow around Poughkeepsie, New York City, JFK, LaGuardia, and Central Park, all reporting snow. Snow back into Cleveland, Columbus, Bloomington, Fort Wayne, down to Evansville, Marion, Mount Vernon, Illinois, all the way back to St. Louis, even around Springfield, Mo. And it looks like as this storm continues to get cranked up, pulling in some moisture from the Atlantic, the cold air is already in place. That low moves northeast, and boom, baby, you got rain from Atlantic City, Atlanta, Georgia, down into Tampa, Florida. Snow from Boston all the way back into St. Louis. We've got a crew in motion there for Boston tomorrow morning. So when you wake up and say, hey, how's my day going to start out? We're going to be right there with you and let you know. Sandy.